All right, Psalm 123, let's call this one Where the Heavens, because this is going to start out with an appeal to God, where the psalmist is going to say, we are looking to God for help because we need mercy. Why does he need mercy? Well, we'll get to that. But in verse 1, he's going to say, to you I lift up my eyes, O you who are enthroned in the heavens, as in verse 2. He's going to go on to talk about the way that he looks to God as a servant would look to his master. Likewise, a maidservant might look to her mistress. And he's going to say, I'm going to look until you show me mercy. Going on to verse 3, I think it is, where he is going to say that's basically his appeal, as we mentioned. He needs God to have mercy. Why? Because in verse 4, he's going to say he is dealing with a level of contempt that once again reminds me of the struggles that we saw in the psalmist, or the Psalm 120 psalmist, where here, verse 4 is going to say, our soul has had more than enough of the scorn of those who are at ease, of the contempt of the proud. Continuing on with what he said at the end of verse 3, where he introduces verse 4 by saying, for we have had more than enough of contempt. Reminding me that there are times when we see that term mercy used in relationship to some wrong we have done. But we've also talked about the need for a disciple of Christ or a follower of Christ to understand how to deal with injustice and deal with it well. As a matter of fact, the New Testament writer is going to say that is what we've been called to do. It doesn't really mean a whole lot if we are enduring hard times for things that we have done wrong. But he says it is admirable before men and God, not necessarily all men, but definitely God, and God willing, the righteous among us, if we are enduring injustice well. And so we are seeing a psalmist that seems to get that, because he is calling for mercy in a situation where he hasn't necessarily done wrong, but he is still dealing with contempt. And the thing that probably most caught my attention was the fact that he is specifically saying something that, in spite of all the themes that we're trying to hit in the Psalms and throughout the Bible, this is one I haven't seen as much, where he is literally saying he is dealing with the scorn of those who are at ease, reminding me of a conversation I listened to this week of someone who I think was super well-intentioned in commenting on the suicide of the young American soldier who just set himself on fire in protest. And what they were trying to do was discourage others from protesting in such a demonstrative way, harming themselves to try to prove a point. But the thing that caught my attention most was the fact that this person was from a position of comfort and relative privilege, creating content, criticizing those who are in difficult positions where they're having to show a level of courage it doesn't take for me to film video. And so with that, I believe that that person who was commenting on that incident was well-intentioned, but that's not always the case, because it also reminded me of a time when I saw a young man, or a story of a young man by the name of John Allen Chau, another missionary who was on the mission field at the same time that I was. He, however, died trying to get the word out to an unreached people group. He was in a much more dangerous situation than I was. And the criticism that I saw him take from relatively comfortable corners of quote-unquote Christianity, really, I don't want to exaggerate, but it kind of turned my stomach. And once again, it goes back to that principle of we need to be very careful of commenting on acts of valor and courage from positions of comfort. And so when I saw this Psalm 123, and a psalmist that seems to be dealing with the scorn of those who are attacking him from a place of relative comfort, my prayer for you is my prayer for me. That first of all, we ask God for the courage to do the things that we need to do to accomplish the work that he has given us. But likewise, that we ask him for the wisdom to effectively and appropriately criticize those who are having to display levels of courage that we don't have to have in our positions of relative comfort.